The elevator doors slid open on the 22nd floor of the glass tower in downtown Manhattan. And there he was, Jordan Hale, leaning against the reception desk like he owned the goddamn skyline. His tailored navy suit hugging shoulders that had broadened since college. A smirk playing on lips that used to whisper lies in the dead of night. My coffee slipped from my hand, shattering against the marble floor in a scalding spray that soaked my loafers. But I couldn't tear my eyes away. It was like staring at a ghost who'd come back not to haunt me, but to gut me alive all over again. "Asher," he said, voice smooth as bourbon over ice. "Fancy meeting you here. Looks like fate's got a sick sense of humor." I froze. The acrid burn of spilled espresso mirroring the twist in my gut. Every nerve screaming to bolt back down to the lobby where the world still made sense. But Jordan's eyes, those piercing green ones that had once mapped every inch of my skin, locked onto mine with an intensity that pinned me in place. Like he knew exactly how deep the scar ran. "HR paired us up for the Vanguard pitch," he continued. Casual as if we were discussing the weather instead of the bomb they just dropped on my career. "You and me. Rivals to the end. Ready to bury the hatchet? Or should I bring the shovel?" The rest of that morning blurred into a haze of forced smiles and frantic emails. My cubicle suddenly feeling like a cage too small for the elephant Jordan had dragged into my life. I'd clawed my way up at Ellis and Crow Advertising from intern to junior creative director in 3 years flat, late nights fueled by black coffee and blind ambition. Pitching campaigns that turned startups into household names. New York had been my reset button after college. A concrete jungle where I could outrun the ghosts of Ann Arbor and the boy who'd shattered me sophomore year. Jordan Hale, debate team captain, lacrosse star. The golden boy everyone wanted, including me. We'd been fire and gasoline back then, stolen kisses in the stacks of the undergrad library, his hands slipping under my waistband during frat parties. Promises murmured against sweat-slicked sheets that he'd never keep. But he did keep one promise, to destroy me. The night before finals, he'd outed me to the entire floor of our dorm, spinning a tale of confusion to cover his own tracks when his ex-girlfriend threatened to spill their secret. I'd spent the summer holed up in my parents' basement in suburban Ohio, fielding whispers from old friends and dodging calls from a university counselor who smelled lawsuit. By senior year, Jordan was valedictorian, off to Harvard Law, while I scraped by on community college credits before transferring to NYU. We hadn't spoken since the day I flipped him off in the quad, his laugh echoing like a gunshot. But here we were, thrown together on the biggest account of my career, Vanguard Fitness, a billion-dollar chain eyeing a national rebrand. The brief had landed on my desk 2 days ago: sleek gyms, urban warriors, empower your edge. I'd sketched mood boards with gritty subway shots and rooftop yoga poses. Visions of diversity that screamed inclusivity without saying it outright. And now Jordan, with his ivy polish and shark's grin, was my co-lead. Think of it as closure. My boss had said over lunch, her fork spearing a kale salad like it was personal. "You two were legends in the college ad circuit. Sparks fly. Right, sparks. Yeah. The kind that burned everything down." By noon, we were crammed into the war room, a glass-walled conference space overlooking Times Square, the neon chaos below mocking my spiraling thoughts. Jordan spread out his portfolio on the table, crisp layouts of hypermasculine models flexing in dawn light. Taglines like "Conquer the Dawn" that reeked of bro culture. "Bold," he said, glancing at my softer sketches, couples in park runs, A trans guy mid-burpee with a rainbow armband peeking from his sleeve. But Vanguard's core demo is straight dudes chasing six-packs. We need edge. Asher. No. Feelings. I bit back the retort. Feelings? You wrote the book on burying those, and leaned forward, tracing a finger over his layout. Edge without alienating half the market? That's not bold. Jordan. That's lazy. Fitness isn't just abs, it's survival for people like, I stopped. The word us hanging unspoken. Like the kid in Ohio who'd hidden his first crush on the neighbor boy behind football stats. Like me. At 18. Realizing love wasn't a phase but a fault line. He held my gaze. Something flickering in those green eyes. Regret? Amusement? People like you, he finished softly. And damn if my pulse didn't stutter. The room felt smaller. The hum of the AC too loud. His cologne, sandalwood and citrus. Same as back then, invading my space like an old addiction. Fine, he conceded, sliding my board closer. Hybrid approach. Your heart. My hustle. We worked through lunch. Trading barbs over falafel wraps from the cart downstairs, him teasing my bleeding heart millennial vibes, me jabbing at his trust fund TED Talk energy. It was easy. Peasy. Slipping into the rhythm we'd had before the betrayal. Our ideas bouncing like a well-matched game of doubles. By 3. We'd roughed out a pitch deck, gritty cityscapes bleeding into triumphant group sessions. A voiceover that whispered, "Your edge isn't forged alone." As we packed up, his hand brushed mine over a stray marker. And time stuttered. Skin on skin. Electric and forbidden. The ghost of his thumb circling my wrist. I yanked back, heat flooding my face. Don't, I muttered. Low enough for only him to hear. Jordan's smirk faded, replaced by a shadow of something raw. Asher? Save it. I grabbed my laptop and bolted. The elevator ride down a blur of regret. What the hell was I doing? Letting him in again? Even a crack? By the time I hit the street, the November chill slapping my cheeks. My phone buzzed, a group chat from the team. Saw you two in the war room, Sparks? Bill. Fire emojis from Sarah in graphics. A winky face from Mike in media. I groaned. Thumbing a quick professional Sparks only. Idiots. But as I jaywalked toward the F train, Jordan's words echoed, your heart, my hustle. And for the first time in years, my heart didn't feel quite so broken. The next week was a pressure cooker of all-nighters and client calls. The Vanguard pitch looming like a guillotine. Jordan and I fell into a grudging sync, him handling the high-stakes negotiations with the execs. Me weaving the emotional threads that made the campaign sing. We'd commandeer the rooftop lounge after hours. The city sprawl glittering below like a promise. Laptops glowing as we debated font weights and color palettes. Serif for trust, I'd argue. Sketching on a napkin stained with his IPA. Sans serif screams corporate douchebag. The deep, rumbling sound that used to unravel me, and counter with trust? From you? After I shit. The pauses grew heavier. The air thick with unsaid apologies. One night, 3 whiskeys in. If you correct. I was scared. Asher. My dad. The firm. The whole legacy bullshit. Outing you was supposed to end it clean. But it wasn't. It never is. I stared at the Hudson. Lights dancing on black water. Clean? You turned my world radioactive. I lost friends. My fucking scholarship essay edge. And for what? To keep your closet door shut? He winced. Fingers drumming the railing. I know. Good. I know. Harvard was hell, every debate round. I'd see your face in the crowd. Judging me. I dropped out second year. Went into marketing too. I don't know. The tone? Pathetic. Right. Pathetic. Yeah. But his voice cracked on the last word. And suddenly he was closer. Shoulder brushing mine. The warmth cutting through the wind. You're not pathetic, I said. The words slipping out unbidden. You're just human. Messy as fuck. Our eyes met. And there was the pull. Magnetic and merciless. Like gravity had decided to rewrite the laws just for us. His hand lifted, hesitating at my jaw. And I leaned in a fraction, breath hitching. Then my phone lit up. Lena. Pitch tomorrow. Killer? Lovebirds. Lovebirds? I shoved him back, laughing it off as the scotch's fault. But as I stumbled home to my Bushwick walk-up, the walls closing in with their peeling paint and empty takeout boxes, I couldn't shake the ache. Jordan Hale wasn't a ghost anymore. He was a live wire, and I was dangerously close to touching it. Words spread through the office like wildfire on dry brush, whispers in the break room, sidelong glances during stand-ups. You two are adorable, Sarah cooed one morning, sliding me a latte with a heart in the foam. The tension? Chef's kiss. Ever the instigator? Photoshopped our faces onto a rom-com poster, Rivals to Lovers, the pitch edition. I deleted it from the shared drive, cheeks burning, but Jordan just grinned over his monitor. Let him talk. Jealousy's good for morale. Was it jealousy? Or something sharper? Like truth wrapped in rumor? By Friday, the office pool was at $50 on When They'll Fess Up, and Lena pulled me aside after a client sync. Whatever's brewing with Jordan, channel it. That deck? It's gold. But don't let it implode the team. Implode. The word lodged in my throat like bad sushi. That night, we celebrated early drafts at the Rusty Anchor, a dive bar in the village where the jukebox spun Springsteen and the bartenders didn't card for stories. Jordan slid into the booth across from me, sleeves rolled to elbows, forearms veined from weekend rock climbs. To us, he toasted, clinking his pint to mine. The dream team no one saw coming. The word hung. Loaded. We talked, really talked, for the first time since the rooftop. About his post-Harvard drift, bartending in Boston dives, crashing on cousins' couches, finally landing at a boutique firm before Ellis scouted him. About my folks back in Ohio, Dad's quiet pride in my first solo campaign, Mom's passive-aggressive emails about settling down with a nice girl. They don't know? He asked. So, I shrugged, tracing condensation on my glass. Not yet. Forever. You. He snorted. Dad knows. Disowned me last Thanksgiving over turkey and turkey talk. Mom sends care packages, socks and passive guilt trips. His laugh was bitter, but his knee nudged mine under the table. Staying there. A silent anchor. 2 beers turned to shots. Shots to a stumble out into the crisp night. The streets alive with cabs honking and couples tangled under street lamps. Walk with me, he murmured, breath warm against my ear. We wandered the West Village, past brownstones strung with fairy lights. His stories pulling me in lazy afternoons in Central Park. The thrill of closing his first solo deal. My guard slipped. Words tumbling. The terror of my first pride. The high of seeing my ad on a billboard in Times Square. At Washington Square Arch. He stopped. Turning to face me. The fountain's mist haloing his silhouette. Asher? I fucked up. Royally. But this, working with you, seeing you now, it's the first thing that's felt right in years. His hand found mine. Fingers interlacing. Calluses rough from gym ropes against my palm. My heart hammered. A drumbeat urging run and stay in equal measure. Jordan, we can't. Not after. I know. He stepped closer, thumb brushing my knuckle. But what if we could? What if this is the redo we both need? The kiss was inevitable, slow at first. Tentative. His lips tasting of hops and hesitation, then deepening as I melted into it, hands fisting his shirt, the world narrowing to the press of his body, solid and unyielding. Fireworks? Bullshit. It was a dam breaking, years of resentment and want crashing together in a flood that drowned out the rational voice screaming betrayal. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching, his whisper fierce, "Come home with me." I did. His apartment in Chelsea was all exposed brick and mid-century furniture. A far cry from the frat house squalor of our past. We didn't make it past the foyer, clothes shed in a trail to the bedroom. Bodies rediscovering rhythms long forgotten. He was gentler this time. Mapping me with kisses instead of conquests. Murmuring my name like a prayer. I missed this, he gasped against my throat. Missed you. Tangled in sheets that smelled of him. I traced the scar on his shoulder from a lacrosse mishap. Why now? Best. Voice thick with post-climax haze. Because life's too short for regrets, he replied, pulling me closer. And because I'm in love with you. Asher. Always was. The words hit like a sucker punch. Sweet and savage. I wanted to believe them. To let the warmth seep into the cracks he'd left. But as his breathing evened into sleep, doubt crept in, cold as the dawn light filtering through blinds. Could you rebuild on ruins? Or was this just another pretty lie? Monday hit like a hangover from hell, sore muscles, a hickey blooming under my collar, and the office buzzing with fresh gossip. Sarah cornered me at the Keurig, eyes wide as saucers. Girl, you look radiant. Jordan finally make a move? The pool's at 80 now, pay up if it's official. I mumbled something about dry cleaners and bolted, but the damage was done. By lunch, emails pinged with heart emojis, and Mike's desktop wallpaper was a meme of us as the notebook leads. Rain-soaked and brooding. Jordan played it cool. Of course, sauntering into the war room with his trademark grin, dropping a bagel on my desk like it was no big deal. Fuel for the fire, he said, winking. Under the table, his foot hooked mine, a secret Morse code that sent sparks up my spine. We dove into revisions, his ideas sharper now. Infused with the vulnerability I'd sketched, ads showing a single dad hitting the treadmill at dawn, a queer couple sparring in the ring, fists flying with love's ferocity. See this? Highlighting a layout. Heart and hustle. He leaned in, breath ghosting my neck. Learned from the best. The client call that afternoon was a triumph. Vanguard's CMO gushing over the authentic edge, greenlighting a test market in LA. Lena clapped us on the back post call, her smile sly. You two are magic. Don't fuck it up. Magic. If only she knew how fragile it felt. This bubble we'd blown. That night, we grabbed Thai takeout and crashed at my place. A shoebox in Bushwick with exposed pipes and a fire escape view of the L train rumbling by. We ate cross-legged on the floor. Boxes open like picnic baskets. His stories filling the space. Summers sailing off the Cape with a family that pretended his queerness was a phase. Dad still calls it that experiment, he said. Chopsticks pausing midair. Like I'm fermenting kombucha. I left. But it twisted something in me, echoes of my own silences. The way I'd nod along to Mom's church potlucks. Burying my truth under layers of someday. Mine think I'm married to the job, I confessed. Popping a spring roll. Better than explaining why I swipe left on every beard in the app. His eyes softened. Setting down his food to crawl over. Bracketing me with arms that felt like home. You're more than the job. Asher. You're everything. The kiss started sweet. Sauce smeared and silly. But escalated fast, hands roaming. Breaths mingling. The futon creaking under our weight. He took his time. Worshipping every inch. His mouth a map of apologies and adoration. Let me show you, he whispered. Fingers tracing my ribs like braille. I arched into him. Surrendering to the rhythm. The world outside fading to white noise. But dawn brought clarity's cruel light. I woke to him scrolling emails. Brow furrowed. And over coffee, black for me. Oat milk latte for him. He dropped the bomb. Vanguard wants a face for the campaign. Celebrity endorsement. I pitched myself. Flexing on billboards. Green eyes smoldering under gym lights. You. Stirring too hard. Spoon clinking. Why not a pro athlete? Or youth? But it didn't reach his eyes. Nah. I'm no model. But I've got the look they want, relatable bro with depth. Plus, it seals the deal. Commission's huge. Relatable bro. The word stung. A callback to college. When he played the part so well it fooled us both. I forced a smile. Congrats. Don't let it go to your head. Again. The quip landed flat. And he reached for my hand. Hey. This is different. We're different. Were we? The week blurred into promo shoots. Jordan in a Chelsea studio. Oiled up and posing under strobes. While I huddled in the control room. Tweaking edits on my laptop. He was a natural. All easy charisma and sculpted lines. The photographer cooing. Give me that intense stare, like you're conquering your demons. Each click twisted the knife. Memories of stolen gym sessions in Ann Arbor. His body a landscape I'd memorized. Now commodified for strangers. By Thursday, the rumors had metastasized. A Slack channel popped up, Asher x Jordan, the office OTP. GIFs of us mid-argument. Captioned hate sex loading. Lena shut it down with a stern all-hands memo. Professionalism. People, but the damage lingered. Eyes following us in the halls. Jordan thrived on it. Slinging arm around my shoulder in the elevator. Whispering filthy promises that made my knees weak. Wear that blue shirt tomorrow. Matches your eyes when you're jealous. Jealous? Of the spotlight? Or of the ease with which he wore his skin now? Out and unapologetic? That night, after a team happy hour at a rooftop bar in Midtown, mojitos flowing, city lights winking like conspirators, we slipped away to his place. The sex was frantic, clothes half on, his teeth grazing my collarbone as he pinned me to the wall. Miah, he growled, and I echoed it back, nails raking his back, chasing oblivion. But oblivion's a liar. Friday morning, I found the email buried in my inbox, a forward from Vanguard's PR. CCNG Jordan. Endorsement expansion, pairing Jordan Hale with rising influencer Alex Rivera, for authenticity's sake. Alex, 25. Chiseled jaw. Insta-famous for thirst traps and queer rep. His feed a parade of shirtless beach runs and flirty collabs. Paired. The word blurred through unshed tears. I confronted him in the stairwell, voice echoing off concrete. Authenticity? Or just another beard to sell the brand? Jordan's face crumpled. Asher? It's optics. Vanguard's straight-laced board, they want diverse, without the gay label sticking. Alex's buy. Pass is easy. It's one shoot. One shoot. I laughed. Hello. Like college was one mistake. Tell me, Jordan, am I the heart? Or just the hustle you tolerate? He reached for me, but I jerked away. You're everything. This is work. Work, I spat, storming down the stairs, the slam of the fire door punctuating my exit. The subway ride home was torture. Bodies pressing close while minds screamed for space. Back in Bushwick, I curled on the futon, phone silent, the city outside a relentless hum. He'd texted once, talk to me. Please. I deleted it, but sleep wouldn't come. Haunted by visions of him and Alex. Lights hot and hands wandering. Saturday dragged in gray sheets of rain. The kind that soaks New York to the bone. I ghosted the office, claiming a migraine, and wandered the East River Promenade instead, joggers splashing puddles, vendors hawking hot pretzels despite the chill. My phone stayed dark until noon, when Sarah called. Asher? Where are you? Jordan's a wreck. Canceled the shoot. Stormed out yelling about compromises. Lena's pissed. But, honey, fix this. Fix this. As if hearts were campaigns, editable in post. But her words nod, pulling me toward reconciliation. By evening, I was at his door, pizza box in hand as a white flag, rain dripping from my hood. He answered in sweats, eyes red-rimmed, stubble shadowing his jaw. You came, figured we could use carbs and honesty. We ate on his couch, the TV droning some Netflix rom-com neither watched. Tension thick as the steam from pepperoni. I'm scared, I admitted finally, picking at a crust. Of believing you again. Of losing myself in us. He set his slice down, turning to me with that raw intensity. Then let's build slow. No endorsements. No secrets. Just you and me. Figuring it out. His hand covered mine. Said he. I love you. Asher. Not the idea, the mess. The midnight rants. The way you hum off-key in the shower. I searched his face, finding no shadows. Only light. Okay, I whispered, leaning in. The kiss was soft. A seal on fragile peace. Leading us to bed where we moved like rediscovery, slow explorations. Laughter bubbling between gasps. For the first time, it felt like home. Not just heat. But in New York is fleeting. Monday brought the backlash, Vanguard pulling funding. Whispers of creative differences that pointed straight at Jordan's unprofessional outburst. Lena hauled us into her office. Glass walls fogging with our collective stress. "Fix it," she said. "Eyes hard. Or you're both out." The pressure mounted. Our bubble thinning. Late nights bled into arguments, me pushing for bold queer rep. Him urging compromise to save the pitch. "It's not betrayal," he'd snap, pacing his living room. "It's survival. Survival." The word echoed the betrayal that birthed us. And cracks widened. One night, after a brutal client note down, toned down the sensitivity, I snapped. "This is why I can't trust you." "You been?" "Jordan." "Always have." He recoiled like I'd slapped him. "And you break? Hiding from your own parents? From the world? We're both cowards." "Asher." The door slammed behind me. Rain-slick streets swallowing my sobs. 2 days of radio silence followed. The office a minefield of pitying glances. Then, the email, Vanguard's kill notice. Project terminated. Effective immediately. I'd lost the pitch. Lost him? No, the real loss was the mirror, reflecting a man too afraid to fight for both. The fallout hit like a nor'easter, emails cascading into voicemails. Lena's disappointment a frost that chilled the entire floor. "I believed in you too," she said in our exit meeting. Her desk a fortress of untouched contracts. But belief doesn't pay bills. Jordan and I sat side by side. Strangers in suits. Our hands inches apart but worlds away. He signed his severance papers first, pen scratching like nails on chalkboard, then shot me a look, pleading, broken, that I couldn't meet. "Take care, Asher," he murmured, standing. The door clicked shut behind him, and just like that, the dream team dissolved. I lasted 2 weeks at Ellis, ghosting through pitches and pretending the empty cubicle next to mine didn't echo with his ghost. But the whispers turned vicious, they imploded spectacularly, queer drama tanked the deal. HR suggested, personal leave, code for get out before you poison the vibe. By December, I was unemployed in a city that chewed dreamers and spat out husks. Crashing on Sarah's couch in Williamsburg with a duffel and a debt spreadsheet that made my stomach lurch. Christmas loomed. A holiday I'd always dodged with workaholic glee. Mom's texts pinged relentlessly, "Home for turkey?" Dad's grilling that new smoker. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over yes. The weight of unspoken truths heavier than jet lag. Ohio called, fields blanketed in snow. The old Victorian creaking under family rituals, but so did escape. An impulse. I booked a red-eye to LA. Vanguard's test market. Chasing leads on freelance gigs. Summit. I told myself. Reset. Anything but the gray grind of Manhattan winters. LAX hit me with palm tree optimism, the sprawl a balm to my bruised ego. I holed up in a Airbnb in Silver Lake, hillside bungalow with lemon trees and a deck overlooking the reservoir. Rent bleeding my savings but solitude worth every cent. Days blurred into job hunts, coffee shop scribbles of spec ads. Zooms with indie agencies hungry for East Coast edge. I'd hike Runyon at dawn, pounding trails until my lungs burned, pretending the ache was progress, not loss. Then, the sighting, a billboard on Sunset, Vanguard's fallback campaign, generic bros high-fiving in neon gyms, tagline edge alone. No heart, no hustle. Just product. It mocked me from afar. A digital ghost. Worse was the DM that followed. From an unknown handle, saw the board. Miss the real thing? Jordan. My pulse spiked. Fingers flying. Stalking me now? His reply was instant, LA for a consult. Coffee? Neutral ground. Neutral. As if ground existed between us. But curiosity, or masochism? We met at Intelligentsia in Venice. Him in board shorts and a faded Harvard tee. Me in jeans frayed at the hems. He looked hand? What's up? Like LA had already claimed him. You cut your hair, he said, stirring his pour-over. Eyes tracing the shorter crop I'd buzzed in a fit of reinvention. Needed a change. I sipped my lot. The foam bitter on my tongue. Ooh. Thriving in the sun. He shrugged. Gaze dropping. Freelancing. Vanguard ghosted me too, said I was too volatile. Landed a gig with a startup. Eco gyms or something. Pays in kale smoothies. His laugh was forced. Cracking at the edges. We danced around the wreckage, office gossip. Mutual friends' holiday cards, until the silence stretched taut. I'm sorry, he blurted. Finally. For pushing compromise. For not fighting harder. You were right, I bent. It's my armor. I lean back. The cafe's hum fading. And I shatter. Pushed you away before you could do it first. The admission hung. Jordan. What are we doing? Chasing shadows? His hand inched across the table. Stopping short. Chasing us? Maybe. If you'll let me. The pull was there. Inexorable. But I stood. Chairs scraping. I need time. Real time. Said. The boardwalk pulsed, skaters weaving. Ocean crashing, and I walked it off. Salt air scouring my lungs. Back at the bungalow. I drafted the email I'd avoided for years. Dad, there's something I need to tell you. About me. About love. Said. The whoosh was terrifying. Liberating. New Year's Eve found me at a queer pop-up in WeHo, drag brunches turned dance parties. Glitter cannons exploding under disco balls. I danced with strangers. Bodies slick with sweat and possibility. A twink with blue hair grinding close. Whispering invitations. But my mind wandered to green eyes. To a laugh that echoed over Springsteen's chords. At midnight? Confetti raining. My phone lit. Happy New Year. Asher. Wherever you are. Know you're enough. Jordan. No plea. Just truth. Ohio called back the next day, Mom's voice trembling over FaceTime. Dad silent in the background. His nod the closest he'd come to absolution. We love you. Son. Always have. Tears blurred the screen. But the weight lifted. A stone rolling from my chest. February brought gigs. A spot at a boutique agency in Echo Park. Campaigns for local brands that let me infuse soul without compromise. I thrived in the sprawl. Hikes turning to dates. A barista with tattoos mapping his heritage. A screenwriter whose scripts mirrored my scars. But none stuck. None sparked like him. Then, the twist, Vanguard relaunched. A stripped-down version of our pitch. Credited to an anonymous creative duo. Anonyms? No glory, just our baby. Sanitized and soaring. Rage boiled. But so did vindication. I called Jordan. Voice steady. Saw the boards. They stole us. His chuckle was warm. Weird. Knew they would. Worth it. Every fight. 'Cause. Meet me? Griffith Observatory. Sunset. The hike up was grueling. Legs burning under relentless sun. But the view, city sprawl to ocean haze, stole my breath. He waited at the helipad. Silhouette against the glow. Hands in pockets. You came. Couldn't stay away. We sat on the ledge. Legs dangling. Sharing a thermos of coffee laced with bourbon. Stories flowed. His eco-gym pitch bombing hilariously. My first LA Pride float design earning a viral tweet. Laughter bridged the gaps. Until he turned serious. I sold the Harvard ring. Pawned it for a down payment on a food truck, queer-owned. Vegan tacos with a side of therapy vibes. I blinked. Mister. Legacy? Turns out, legacy's what you build, not inherit. His fingers brushed mine. Tentative. And mine? It's with you. If you'll have me. The kiss was sunset sweet. Lips tasting of coffee and second chances. The city below a canvas for whatever came next. But as we pulled apart, his phone buzzed, a text from Alex Rivera, shoot rescheduled? Need that chemistry. The name hit like ice water, dredging the old wound. Alex. I pulled back, heart slamming. You're still. No. He fumbled the phone. Showing the chain, Vanguard's desperate Hail Mary. Alex as the straight-passing face to appease the board. I turned it down months ago. Deleted the thread. It's you. Only you. But doubt festered. A seed in fertile soil. That night, alone in the bungalow, I scrolled his Insta old posts with Alex. Arms slung casual. Captions winking at bros with benefits. Lies? Or truths I'd ignored. The betrayal from college reared. Whispering history repeats. I confronted him at dawn. On the deck as lemons ripened gold. Show me your phone. All of it. He handed it over. Eyes steady. Nothing to hide. I scrolled, text to his mom about the one, voice memos of him pitching our story to investors. A folder labeled Asher, screenshots of my ads. Notes on my quirks. A photo of us from the rooftop. Blurry and blissful. Tears pricked. Why? Because you're my edge. Asher. The one worth fighting for. He cupped my face. Thumb tracing my lip. No more bending. Promise. I believed him, fiercely, foolishly. We dove back in. LAR playground. Taco truck launches under string lights. Weekend getaways to Joshua Tree where stars blanketed the desert and we made love in a tent. Whispers of forever mingling with coyote howls. The office rumors faded to irrelevance. Here. We were just two guys. Building. But fate's a cruel editor. April brought the call. Lena. Poaching me back for a legacy project. Vanguard 2.0. Full queer integration. Jordan's on board too, she said. Manhattan misses you. The word tugged. But so did roots newly planted. I flew east for the pitch. Jordan waiting at JFK with a sign, Mr. Will you hustle with me? We nailed it, bro. Billboards blooming with diverse bodies. Taglines like edge together. Yeah. In the afterglow, conflict brewed. His food truck exploded, investors circling. Offers from chains to scale. It's a sign, he said over diner pancakes. Syrup sticky between us. We could franchise. You run creative. I handle ops. Hi. Baby. Empire. The word chilled me, echoing his father's shadow. Or what if it's a trap? Bending to the big leagues again? He bristled. Not everything's a betrayal. Asher. Sometimes it's opportunity. The argument escalated in his Chelsea apartment, voices rising over unpacked boxes. His ex-roommate's cat fleeing the fray. You're projecting, he shouted. Afraid of success because it means vulnerability. And you're running. I fired back. From the mess of us into spreadsheets and suits, I stormed out. Cab roaring to Bushwick. The old wounds reopening. Days turned to weeks of silence. The pitch's success a hollow victory. Vanguard launched to acclaim, but solo spotlights felt dim. Sarah dragged me to therapy, a cozy office in the village, where dear Reyes unpacked the layers, my fear of loss, his of stagnation. One rainy Tuesday, I showed up at the truck, parked curbside in Soho. Lines snaking around the block for jackfruit al pastor. He spotted me through the window, face paling. Asher. Truce. I held up a six-pack. Rain dripping. Tacos and talk. We closed early. Migrating to a nearby park. Benches slick under umbrellas. Vulnerability poured. His terror of failing us. My scars from the outing still tender. I love you, he said. Voice breaking. But love's not enough if we don't trust. Trust is earned, I replied. Hand in his. Daily. We recommitted, therapy dates. Boundaries drawn like battle lines. Summer bloomed. Our rhythm syncing, truck pop-ups in Brooklyn. My ads gracing subways. Nights tangled in his bed. Bodies a language of amends. But the ultimate test loomed, his father's 60th. A black tie gala in the Hamptons. Come with me, Jordan pleaded. As my partner. Show him we're unbreakable. Unbreakable. The word thrilled and terrified. I said yes. Suit pressed. Heart pounding as we pulled up to the estate. Manicured lawns. Valets in livery. His dad, silver-haired and stern, greeted us at the door, eyes narrowing on our linked hands. Jordan. Friend. Partner, Jordan corrected. Chin high. Dinner was a minefield, small talk laced with barbs. His mother's tight smiles a shield. Then, the toast, Dad raising his glass. Voice booming. To legacies. May they endure. Jordan stood, hand squeezing mine. To new ones. Built on truth. The room hushed as he pulled me up, kissing me fierce and unapologetic. Silverware clinking in shock. Whispers rippled, but we held. Unbreakable. Later, on the beach. Waves lapping. He buried his face in my neck. Thank you. For us, I murmured. Always. Fall painted Manhattan in fire, leaves scorching Central Park paths. Air crisp with apple cider and possibility. The truck thrived. A rolling beacon of queer joy, pride floats on wheels. Collabs with local artists turning tacos into canvases. My role at Ellis evolved, senior director, helming campaigns that wove inclusivity into corporate veins. Vanguard a flagship that opened doors. Jordan and I? We were the quiet revolution, brunches at the butcher's daughter. elbows brushing over avocado toast. Quiet drives upstate. His hand on my thigh as highways blurred to hills. But revolutions breed backlash. November brought the leak, an anonymous tip to a tabloid. Ad world power couples steamy past, rivals to lovers or bitter betrayal. Grainy photos from college, us in the library. Lips inches apart, paired with dorm gossip. Jordan's outing spun as youthful indiscretion. It erupted, trolls spewing slurs. Allies rallying with love wins threads. Vanguard stock dipped. Clients hedged calls. We hunkered in his apartment. Laptops open to damage control. Takeout cooling untouched. It's my fault, he said. Scrolling vitriol. Dragging you back into my mess. Our mess, I corrected. Pulling him close. We face it together. PR firms circled like vultures, crafted statements. Therapy intensives, but we opted raw, a joint op-ed in the cut. From rivals to real, owning our story. Words poured, betrayals sting. Forgiveness's grace. Love's messy humanism. It went viral. Shares flooding from allies. Even a nod from Glad. The high was heady, invites to panels. The TEDx slot where Jordan quipped. Rivalries just foreplay for the real fight against ourselves. Laughter rippled. My chest swelling with pride. But cracks showed in quieter moments, nights when he'd wake gasping from dreams of disownment. Days I'd catch myself scanning crowds for judgment. Thanksgiving tested us, my parents' first visit to the city. A harvest spread in our combined loft, his Chelsea spot. My Bushwick charm fused in a sublet. Mom fluttered. Basting turkey with nervous energy, Dad grilled Jordan on the business, gruff approval thawing over pie. Treat him right, he muttered, clapping Jordan's shoulder. Or Ohio's got pitchforks. To left. But the weight lingered, families love a gift. Hard one. As plates cleared, Mom pulled me aside. Eyes soft. He's good for you. Asher. Lights you up. Her hug was fierce. Scented with cinnamon and acceptance. Winter deepened. Snow blanketing stoops. Our rhythm a warm counterpoint. Ice skating at Bryant Park. His arms steady as I wobbled. New Year's at a queer ballroom bash. Bodies swaying to Nina Simone under chandeliers. This year, he whispered at midnight. Fireworks blooming outside. We conquer. Conquer we did, Vanguard's holiday push a smash. Our faces, tasteful. In the ed. Tagline edge endures. But conquest's shadow is hubris. January's storm hit via email, his father's firm. Offering a merger. Scale the truck nationally, the pitch read. Legacy partnership. Jordan's eyes lit over breakfast. Pancakes forgotten. Think. Asher, coast connected. Queer food everywhere. I set down my fork. Unease coiling. Partner? Or puppet? He disowned you. Jordan. This smells like control. It's redemption, he countered. Voice rising. Proving I'm more than his mistake. The fight simmered for days, him pacing, me withdrawing into work. Therapy unpacked it, his abandonment wound, my fear of erasure. Choose us, I pleaded one night. Rain lashing windows. Not ghosts. He chose, politely declining over coffee with Dad. Boundaries drawn like moats. My legacy's here, he said, gesturing to our life. The relief was palpable, sealing us tighter. Spring unfurled with bloom, a book deal for our story. Rival's edge, Love in the ad game. Ghost-written but soul-bared. Launch party at a Soho loft, bubbles popping, toasts clinking, ended with us slipping away to the rooftop. City humming below. Proud of you, I said, nuzzling his neck. Proud of us. His kiss was promise. Deep and devouring. Yet, the arc bent toward shadow. Summer's heat wave brought the diagnosis, Jordan's mom. Pancreatic? Stage 4. We flew to Boston. The Cape House a tomb of memories, her frail in the wicker chair. Eyes bright despite the pallor. You too, she rasped. Hands clasping ours. Fix what I couldn't. Love loud. We did, nights at Mass General. Him crumbling in my arms. Days planning her send-off, a seaside scattering. Her ashes mingling with Atlantic foam. Grief hollowed him, but I held the edges. Our love a lighthouse in fog. She saw us, he whispered post-funeral. Wind-whipping dunes. Whole. Fall circle back. Anniversary marked with a weekend inn and arbor, full circle. Ghosts laid. We walked the quad. Leaves crunching. His arm around me. Here, he said, stopping at the library steps. Where it started wrong. And ends right. I kissed him. Brazen under oaks. A passerby's smile our benediction. The climax crested in December, Vanguard's gala. Black tie triumph at the Met. We arrived linked. Suits tailored sharp. His green eyes sparkling under chandeliers. Speeches lauded our pioneering vision, but the real thunder came mid-toast, his dad. Uninvited. Cornering us by the bar. Flashy, he sneered. Scotch sloshing. But legacies last. This? A phase. Jordan's jaw tightened. But he smiled. Still. No. This is forever. Turned to me. Dropping to one knee amid gasps. A ring. Simple platinum with an etched edge. Box trembling in his grip. Asher Cole. You've been my rival. My heart. My home. Marry me? Build every messy, beautiful tomorrow. Tears blurred. The room holding breath. Yes, I choked. Pulling him up. Kiss sealing amid applause. His dad slunk away. But we didn't notice, dancing cheek to Ella. World shrinking to us. The afterglow stretched. Wedding plans scribbled over tacos. Ohio meets Cape. A ceremony blending worlds, vows under Manhattan oaks. Rings exchanged with family witnessing. No big. But human truth, love as verb. Fought for daily. Years later. At our loft, expanded now. Walls lined with truck memorabilia and ad awards. Jordan stirs beside me. Dawn painting his lashes gold. Morning. Husband, he murmurs. Hand tracing my ring. Morning. Love. I kiss his temple. Heartful. From rivals to this, secret no more. Love loud and enduring. In America's sprawl. We'd carved our edge, not perfect, but profoundly ours. Epilogue whispers, the truck's a chain. Queer-led. Billboards blooming with our faces, not posed. But laughing in kitchen chaos. Vanguard? A footnote. The story that writes itself. Page by tender page.